when I try to think of something cool to model, like when I look at posters and artwork and all that kind of stuff, it just gets overwhelming and I don't do it anyway. So if I want to make something, if I want to get better, slightly better at modeling, let me just pick the most average looking random things that are around me in my office. If I want to, for example, model this laptop stand, I know what it looks like. It's right here. I have it. It has like lighting on it. I can see the material. I can look at it and I can get as detailed as I want to because it's all right here and it's real. So let's do that. Let's model this laptop stand. The general shape of it is kind of like this squished box looking thing. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm not gonna use measurements or nothing like that. I'm just gonna eyeball it from what I can see. I'm gonna grab these front edges and then these back edges and I'm gonna bevel them. There's this like tube that you can kind of see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the faces with A, X, only faces. Yeah, so we delete only the faces. And what I want to do is I want to get rid of all these edges and get rid of all these edges. Delete edges. All right, cool. So that's essentially the shape of the tubing. F3 on the keyboard will pull up the search menu and you can search for pretty much anything. So mesh to curve, convert to curve. Okay. So now it's a curve here, and we'll go into geometry and depth. I think that's what we want. Yeah, crank up that depth. We'll check fill caps. All right, cool. Fill caps sounds like a name of somebody. Hi, my name is Phil. Philip Caps. Actually, before I do that, let me see if I can add a subdivision surface. Yeah, we want that subdivision. That looks good. I'm going to go back into edit mode, select this point. Shift S on the keyboard to open up this pie menu. Cursor to selected. This is, again, something new I learned through in the past with like 2 years of using Blender. If you do that, when you add a new object with a sphere, it'll add whatever shape to that 3D cursor. Cool. And then we'll duplicate it to the other side on the y-axis, move it. So then that's most of it. And the last thing that's left is the plate at the top. Create a plane, go into tab into edit mode. So we'll select one, we'll select both of these edges. I think it's Shift Control B, Shift Control or Control Shift B will bevel the vertices. And so I'm just gonna kind of line that up. It does need a little bit of solidify action. Let's get that. All right, so the last part for this plate is we can use a texture to add the holes in with like an alpha mask or whatever, but let's try using a Boolean modifier. Let's try actually doing it with geometry. So I'm gonna go in the top view, hit 7 on the numpad, create a cylinder, has way too many faces. Let's bring 32 down to like 8, maybe 12. Gonna add a array modifier. There is 7 in one direction. And then there's another, I'm going to put another array modifier just to kind of start building it out. And that is, how many is that? Hold on. It's like 13. Let's do 13. All right. And there are like 3 groups of these holes punched out. Either I need to make the actual thing wider, which I think I might do. I'm just going to merge it just so I can stretch it easily. Let's add a 3rd array. All right, cool. So we can start to see how much space we have to work with. All right, so now we're going to grab this plate. I'm going to select it in edit mode with L and then press P to separate it from the rest of it. So I am going to add a Boolean modifier, difference, use the picker to select the cylinder. So now we see that it worked. And to double check our work, we can just hide this. And there you go. You have our we have our holes in there. I like that. I'm just going to apply that and then take these cylinders and delete them. We don't need them. This I don't like. This like jagged ass. I don't like this. It's too jagged for me. Make jagged. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select these again, separate them, and then just add a subdivision on that one. Let's do auto smooth. Okay, that's somewhat better. Okay, cool. So yeah, the modeling portion is done. I'm just gonna go into texturing. So if you want to just hop out the video right now, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and let me know if you're gonna dip out at this point. And just like drop in the comments, be like, I watched until the modeling part, and after that I got bored and I left. So let's just gonna enable some HDRIs here. So let's go ahead and add a simple black material to it. This really is it. I watched BlenderGuru's talk on lighting for the Blender conference, and he said do not touch the specularity slider, just leave that up at half. So ever since that talk, I've just ignored the specularity. I never mess with it. And the one thing was I'm going to separate the plate. I had this photo that I took of some metal, of like a rusty sheet metal, and I'm going to use that for the roughness here. Look at how much roughness variation there is. It's like a damn Call of Duty texture. Control T on this texture to get the using the Node Wrangler add-on. Yeah, and it's nice because it's kind of got this like more wear in the back because of like that's where the laptop battery usually is, and it's hotter and maybe like melted some of the metal off or the paint off a little bit more. I'm also going to do this trick where I open up a bump node. So if you take your photo from the color ramp and plug it into the, what is it, the height of the bump node, and then plug that into the normal, it automatically gives it this like really gross bump. It's a little aggressive, but you get the idea here. Probably gonna do it separate. Ugh. Looks like it's just dipped in acid. Jesus Christ. All right, let's smooth that out a bit. Yeah, we want to push that. Oh, the strength is super high. That's probably why. There we go. The distance too. Okay, cool. Maybe even. Cool. So yeah, you kind of get a little bit of wear and tear there. Nothing too crazy. Because I'm looking at mine now and I'm noticing it is a little bit different, but do I care? I don't think I care. Thanks for watching me fumble my way through Blender. I hope this was entertaining. I hope this was educational. If you want to go ahead and leave another comment. if you want to leave a comment telling me that you've made it into the texture portion, made it all the way to the end of the video, that'd be amazing. You can really show those losers that dropped off early that what they missed. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you want to comment, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, it very much helps the channel out. It helps me grow, helps me, lets me know that, you know, people care about this kind of stuff, so I can keep making more stuff. And if you want to download the specific model, like if you follow it along, great. And if you want to challenge yourself the same way that I'm doing this, awesome. I fully support it. But if you want to just be like a shortcutter and just get the model, this model that I made in this video, I'll leave a link to where you can download that in the description below. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye. Actually, I did go back in. I thickened that tube up a little bit more. I also added a label that was on the original one. I added a label on the front there. So if you do download that model, you'll get the right version. Thank you. Bye.